Okay, I'm live again. I thought that I fixed this bug, man. I thought that I fixed this bug. I thought that I did. Um God, this bug. Okay, so I guess I didn't fix this bug. God damn. Believe it or not, in all of my testing, this this worked fine. This like worked fine earlier today. Uh But yeah, I guess I didn't fix this bug, huh? Oh, and now my computer is just like really upset at me. Um, False is correct. Hey Arya. Yeah, I mean so let me show you where this bug is coming from. Uh so this bug is just the blur voxels. It's literally just that. Um I don't understand why touching this memory crashes me. I think something is overflowing here, but I check the values and nothing actually goes over. So go figure, I guess. I don't really get it, but yeah, it's very annoying. It's very annoying. I don't really understand it. Also, I hate it that YouTube um just like stops my stream if like my computer it doesn't even crash. My computer doesn't even crash. Like it just hangs for like 2 minutes or whatever. It's annoying that YouTube just like stops your stream. Like I'm a big boy. I can handle it. Like come on. Um Anyway, what was I saying? Refereed should be safe though? Yeah, you'd think. You'd think. It's also inside of GDB. Like it's kind of ridiculous. So it's when you're creating the voxel that there would be an issue? No, it's literally just reading the data. It's literally just when reading it. We don't even use this. If we load in, we don't even use this. The reason why we actually store this is because if we want to regenerate a partial light map later, then we use these same blur voxels that are cached. I mean, you're creating bad data and reading it. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Um, the thing is, I checked the values, and we never go over. We have it hard capped at 128 for these counts, and we never overflow, according to, you know, my computer. So I'm just going to not use this because, at least for right now. But yeah, it doesn't make sense because all of these are correct. They're read and written in the correct order. Um, if I crash again, that would be hilarious, but we won't. It's annoying though. It's like I don't know. I checked it. I checked if like anything is overflowing on the way in, and nothing comes up. So this is the code, though. Yeah, you would think so. Automatically, when you're looking at this is suspicious, right? Like, if you read in a bad count and then you iterate this count, like obviously there could be some issues, but I don't know. So anyway, back to what I was saying here. So we can load in a GLTF like so. It is going to take a while since it is adding it to the light map, but so now you're not actually going to be able to see it but it's here. It's here. You can go to mesh, and then you can see we have our gun. The issue is, like, if I do this and I select all of the parts of my gun, right? And then I like had a button that said, for example, like make entity. Basically what we would end up doing would be that we would have to iterate through the nodes and find the parent node that we're going to apply the transforms to. Right. Now, how do I do that? So we could just iterate through every single triangle inside of our selection. Each triangle has you're gonna hate me. What's the issue again? I don't hate you, Arya. I don't hate you. So what are we talking about again? Okay, so we iterate through all of the triangles. They all have... See, the fucked up thing is that all of our triangles have mesh ID, render group ID, skin ID, instance ID. When we duplicate, all of it needs to change, right? All of it, right? Because we need a new render group. We need a new mesh. We need a new instance. Maybe we can keep the same skin ID. But all of the... You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't understand, because like we can look at a GLTF file just for example, my map itself, my literal map, so we can literally go through it and see what the issue is. For our nodes, right, we have these bones. These are all of the TRSs. We have at the bottom here, we have mesh 8 plane, but as you can see, hold on, maybe we're fine actually. Maybe we're fine actually. Maybe we're actually... Maybe I was just doing a fuss about everything. Why am I duplicating triangles? What do you mean? Why make entities this way, though? It seems like it would be messy with no real positives. I don't know. I want flexibility, you know? Like, I don't want you to just be stuck with GLTF, you know? Like, for example, if I wanted to make geometry an entity for whatever reason, for example, if I wanted to click a door and then, make it into an entity, and then make it execute a callback function when you're near it, like open or something, I want you to just be able to do that. Like I would have done something like just a mesh or an array of meshes. Well, that's what an entity is going to become. That's what it is. But I don't want it to be just tied to meshes. Like, for example, the good thing about my system here is that we don't have to, we can select, for example, we can select any number of triangles and then edit them separately or together. So if I wanted to make an entity with just these triangles, then that would be completely fine. I haven't actually tested this out, but in theory, this is how, yeah, this is how it should work. Like, there's probably a reason as to why no game engine has something like this. I mean, I guess. Bro, using an ECS for meshes is insane. It's not an ECS. It's actually like the opposite of an ECS. I mean, there's like an argument for flexibility here. You're building a 3D editor inside my engine. Yeah, that's basically what I've been trying to do. That's kind of like the whole point of all of these menus, is that we have the flexibility to break everything like this. Like, we have an ability to break everything all at once inside of this. I'm showing off something that I did recently that no one's actually seen yet, but we have an ability to put to just break everything for science. This is going through basically every single material we have, which are basically our render groups, but our render groups or materials split into render groups, and we are changing our rendering pipeline in real time, which is something I always wanted to do. Like, we can send data to different shaders, even if it doesn't really make sense. Most of this stuff is going to do nothing, but you can do some like weird stuff. Like, what was it that I did earlier? I wired this up to something. Yeah. Also, there's something with the volumetric pass, or maybe it was volumetric composite, going to something really strange. No, it wasn't VAO layout. It was maybe it was this. I think we're at the point where our frame buffers are so broken though that we can't see anything. Question: where did I learn how to set up an engine like this structure wise? I just kept adding shit to it until it became like this. You know, it took me, months, I guess. I also didn't listen to people telling me that why would this be in an engine, because I don't know, it's fucking cool. Maybe it's not cool to everybody. Whoa. Configured an abomination right there. Yeah, that's the goal. I like the fact that you can just move everything around, like, even if it's nonsensical. But yeah, so basically what that was I was wiring up materials to different shaders and different frame buffers in real time. And you can definitely do crazier stuff with it if you have weirder materials. Anyway, so what I realized here now looking at the file is that this is our static geometry, and it has its own node. And it's not, see, this is the problem. This is the problem right here. Children 8, mesh 8 is here. And that's why you hate to see it. You hate this. I hate GLTF bullshit. Because for some fucking reason, this is parented. Why is my static geometry parented to my gun model? It's moronic. It's literally moronic. You know. Unless I'm reading this wrong. But this was exactly my problem with this. Was that even though my plane is over here, this is as for some reason this is a child. Children 8. Maybe this isn't mesh count though. Maybe this is node count. Yeah, actually, maybe this isn't mesh count. Let's count 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's just go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was mesh count. Well, dot object would be easier to parse, but you don't have animations in dot object. Did I implement a collision system as well? Yeah, I do have a collision system. I can show it off real quick. Dot object is like really easy to parse, but it doesn't have skeletal animations, which is how I am doing all the animations. It doesn't have animations, which I'm using to do the animations. Not in standard format, but you could, I mean, getting animations this clean is definitely worth it. You know, it's kind of worth all of the pain and the suffering. I think that it looks, there's strafing. Yeah, there's a lot of strafing going on. You can do it sideways. Do W only. I kind of suck at W only, to be honest, but this is W only. This is A only. This is S only. And this is sideways. And this is backwards. And this is regular. You can also ride walls backwards as well. What library do I use to implement collision? The dust mite code library. Anyway, that's the collision. So what we did observe within the GLTF itself is that this actually is not dust mite. That's my name. Yeah. You can go through my old videos, like from 2 months ago is when I implemented the collision system. But yeah, I don't use any libraries other than OpenGL and SDL. I implemented my own library, I guess. It's just kind of code. Um, okay. I have an idea. Should remake my profile picture in 3D and render it inside my engine would be cool. Honestly, I think I should just change my profile picture to something else that's not somebody else's work. That should probably... No GLFW, no STB. Well, STB image I use. GLFW I just use SCL2 instead. I use CJSON for my JSON parsing. I would do it as fan art and people would still recognize me. Yeah. Will I be publishing my game? Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully, you know. At this point, it might come out by the time I'm dead. You know. I hope Arya's prepared to finish it. Anyway. So basically, see, I don't want to make... So Arya was asking, why not just make an entity as a bunch of meshes? Well, the issue with that, young mind, is that it has to have a TRS, right? And to be efficient, we already have TRSs as nodes in this format. So all of these nodes have their own TRSs. As you can see here, that's what this is. TRS, translation, rotation, scale. That's why. So for example, if we wanted to translate our gun, that would use this TRS. It would directly change this TRS. Right? And this is true. This is where the gun spawns, is 25-25-4. So when I select triangles and then we click a button that says make entity, we iterate through all the triangles and then we find the one But what if they have two? What if I select one triangle from the plane and one triangle from the rhino, right? Then we have to make... Yeah, this shit is fucking stupid. That's just local space transformed from the model, right? Yeah, exactly. But if I want to make entities from not just the models, then we're gonna have a problem. It's so messy. Please just make it simpler. Fucking sounds lame is what the lame person says. L. Sleepy Mushroom says, what do you think is easier to learn, C or C++? C. 100%. Fucking lame. Loser alert. Oh my gosh. L. Okay. How about this? I have an idea. Well, the lame person actually finishes her projects. You may have a point there. You may have a point there, but one of us is a moderator. C is easier? Yeah, C is definitely easier. So there's less shit inside of it. C++, you got fucking templates, smart pointers, blah 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 blah. You got a lot of stuff in there to learn. What if we just make a new node, right? Make a new node that nothing refers to. Wouldn't that just work, right? Oh, also, this should have a skin of -1. We should do some printing outs on this. Because if this has a skin of -1, and I select some of this stuff with skin 0, right? And then we make a new entity, right? We'll just give it a skin of -1. We'll give it the correct instance ID for all of this. We'll place it inside of the instance just as an extra node, right? And that node will have no skin that points to it for transforms. It'll just be its own TRS, right? Then we set all of that node's TRSs to identity. And then whenever we have entity behavior callback, right, that'll just reference that TRS and move it around. Okay? However, if within our selection we have only selected triangles from one, we can say model. Model is not a bad word to say. We can say model from one model. Model in this case being just sharing the same parent node. If they all share the same parent node, then we will just use the parent node's ID. Okay? Everybody happy with this? I feel like this is the solution. Okay? I'm happy with it. We got there. Now time to actually write the code that does that. Where are we gonna put this shit though? Maybe we just put this in an entity handler, dude. Maybe we just lay it on the heap, you know? You know what? No, let's not do this. Let's not put it in here. Let's put it in map.c, okay? Because this is where all the shit is that does stuff like this, you know? Do I have any plans on making a map editor or creator? I already have one. That's what you saw earlier when I was doing all that crazy editing shit. Arya doesn't want me to make a map editor. Arya just wants me to finish my project. So you might have to take it up with her. Because I'm not allowed. We were gonna want this for sure. As if that's ever stopped me before. Well, I'm glad that it's actually banter. I thought that you were actually coming for my throat before with this. Someone actually finishes their projects. Fuck off, man. Let me have some fun. Let me have some fun, huh? This is what I find it fun, is is making things that haven't been done before. Like I always say, if I wanted to make Unity, I would just use Unity. The Dustmite engine will be the greatest thing ever created, for sure. So we have to iterate through the entire selection. I don't even remember what is it on player? Is it on player? Try selection count. Is that on player or is it on editor config? I can't actually remember. Add triangle to selection. What do we even use here? Try selection count. That's what I thought. I lost my place. What did I just call this? Create entity from selection. True. Did call it that. I've actually been thinking about making a Doom style game in OpenGL and C++, and I've been wondering, what the fuck is that? Dude, this bug? Dude, this is a bug I've never seen before. Dude, it's like a white flying thing. That shit was crazy. And I've been wondering how I was going to go about it with meshes for the map. Do you think a raycaster for that too? I made a raycaster. I can show you what that raycaster looked like. I have it here. This is the... Yeah, this one. This is what it looked like. I didn't have collision. Oh, I did have collision in it, but it was only just like walls, right? Just vertical walls. So this is probably what your raycaster would look something like this, if you were to do it. So just to give you an idea of what it could look like. The issue with me with this raycaster was getting actual height information. Like, for example, our lights end up looking kind of like lasers because they just sample a 2D volume instead of a 3D volume, because a raycaster isn't 3D, believe it or not. So if you want to make a raycaster, just keep that in mind, that making stairs and stuff is really difficult. And the reason why Doom was able to do it is because it was made by two crackhead geniuses. And they were definitely pushing the limits of what a raycaster can do. So the math is hard. It's hard. I want 3D, so I just might go the mesh route. Yeah, I mean, triangles, view matrices, it's all good stuff. So we're going to go through the try selection count. Our triangles don't have node, by the way. Our triangles don't have node. Maybe they should have node. Yeah, why don't they have node? Fucking Christ, man. God damn it. Okay. This is gonna get a little bit more complicated than I thought, but we can do it. We can do it still. It's fine. We just have to pack more data into this. It's fine. Let me go to GLTF node. Do we have an idea here? Uh-huh. We don't. But we do have an overall index. Hey, Broken Soul, how are you doing? I'm coding with C++ as of right now. That's awesome. I love making poor design decisions. Wow. Dude. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, why do I even go live? Just to get, like, berated all the time. Dude, it's just crazy to me. It's just insane. It's wild. We iterate through the nodes here. This is iterating nodes. This is iterating nodes. So NI is what we need. 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 We're just going to put it in here. Node ID equals NI. And we're not going to think too hard about it. If I was just boring, you wouldn't watch me, okay? I've got to make poor design decisions. It's like a part of the bit. So now that we have node ID, okay. Let's just get the node, right, from globals.instance gltf instances try instance ID. We don't actually have the triangle, which is something that we should get first. Sorry. I just had to like do that right now. Okay, try instance ID dot. Right, this is dot buffer. Can't forget about that. Can't forget about that at all. No member name buffer. Oh, I called it buff. My bad. Do I play Ultra Kill? I have played Ultra Kill. I did play Ultra Kill. I kind of stopped actually enjoying it once they started adding those like bullshit statues or whatever. I played it when it first came out, when the first like couple of the first like 4 episodes up to the desert one. I really liked the desert one. Came out, and then I was like on the leaderboards for the endless mode. I like speed ran it all, P ranked, all of it. So yeah, I was really into Ultra Kill when it came out. Trust me, the game gets better again. Really? I don't know. That the water world was I just didn't like it, and so I stopped playing. And I started playing other games like Nightmare Reaper, which I have too many fucking hours in. Nodes, instance by try, node ID. There we go. Yeah, those are the worst levels. Yeah, it kind of sucked. I don't really know why they... We're not actually going to validate the you know, the indexes on any of this. You fuck off if you think that I'm going to do that. The ones after are much better. Oh, also I'm indexing this by I, which is like fucking moronic, and I almost did the thing again. There we go. Wait, is this a pointer? I think it's a pointer. This is a pointer. This is definitely a pointer, yeah. The ones after are much better. Well, maybe I'll play it again. Maybe I'll play it again. I really did enjoy the game. I also thought that fight with the that secret level fight with the King Midas or whatever guy was pretty sick. P ranking that was sick because you had to like actually parry all of his shit. That was a lot of fun. Fun game. Not a very difficult game, though. I kind of wish it was harder. But maybe the end levels are harder. But yeah, playing on like the hardest difficulty wasn't even the new secret. Yeah, I saw it on the. I kind of got it spoilered for me. Why do you think everyone? I'm not reading that. There are new difficulties now. Okay, maybe I'll play it. Maybe I'll play it. What's up, Alti? How are you? Okay, so now we have the node. We have the node. We're not verifying any of this. Actually, you know what? Let's just go. If not try, continue. Okay? So with the node, we want to see we want to get the parentage node for all of this, right? Or wait. Oh fuck, this is complicated. Shit, this is actually really complicated. Damn. Okay. So let's think about it. So here it is. Here's what it is. So a good example of this is our gun model, right? Like if I just selected the cylinder and the ejection pin, right? Our node would be the cylinder. Or no. We would have to make a new node because they are parented to a node that we didn't select. Okay? They're parented to a node that we didn't select. And so, if they're parented to a node that we didn't select, then we may not want to move that node. We want to move them separately. Okay? So in that case, we have to make a new node. We also have to make a new node if we select a triangle that is not parented to any node. So the only world in which we want to return a node from this is if okay, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. Okay, we're not going to do this. Yeah. We're not going to do this. Because I realized something here. I realized something here, and I realized that in our case, if we did select, for example, the cylinder and the ejection pin and wanted those to be our new entity, right? Then their joints for all of their triangles would not match up in what I mean by that is for all of our collision triangles we have these joints which need to match up with the nodes. So we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do it. Instead of doing this, we're just gonna make a thing that selects nodes, okay? And then we will only make entities from nodes. And that just solves all of these issues if we just stop thinking about triangles for a second and just think about nodes. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go to here and we're gonna make a new selection mode called node selection. Okay. There we go. Node selection. Now we're gonna be able to select nodes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, okay. This is fucking really hard all of a sudden, but we're gonna figure it out. Okay. So we're not going to create entities from selection. We're instead going to create it from our node. We can put this in editor config. Editor settings. This is just our massive struct with all of our things. Selected node ID. Okay. We have a node ID there. Okay, so let's first of all go to input and figure out how we're gonna actually select nodes. Actually, no, we have to do the hovering first. Okay, so when we hover in mode editor, we have this function called the right hovered mesh. Okay. Yeah, instead we're just gonna add a new else if here. This is fine. We're gonna go player.selectionState is node selection. Then we're gonna make a new function called right hovered node. Okay. We'll add that to the jump list. And then we'll make a new function here called right hovered node. Okay. Okay, so create entity from selection. We're gonna do the exact same thing still. Right hovered node. This function is going to write the hovered node to our selection in our editor mode. So this is going to be now the hit try, the triangle that we hit in our raycast from our middle. If not try, continue, return. We are going to still get the node that it corresponds to, which that is all the same. If try instance ID is less than the globals.gltf instances.count, and our try node, we actually have to do two if statements. So if it's greater than or equal to, then we return. If try node ID is greater than or equal to the globals.gltf instances.buffer indexed by the try instance ID dot node count, then we return also. Okay, there we go. All the error checking that you need. So now that we have a node, we want to display all of that node inside of our editor selection buffer. So we have from a node, how do we go from a node? How do we go from a node to... Does int mesh actually... Int mesh doesn't actually go to the mesh, right? Int mesh is the GLTF convention for mesh and not the actual mesh unique ID. But we need the actual mesh ID. So this means that we have to actually switch this. When we copy our nodes, we want to... Oh, fuck. Okay. We're gonna do this the simple way. Don't ask me why this has to be like this. It just does. During runtime, during load time, while we're iterating through this, our gmeshes count equals our globals.mesh UID. This also needs to go to node mesh UID equals globals.mesh UID. Yes, this is how we do it. Okay, this is how we do it. Fantastic. So now that we have that, we can go from node to mesh, right? Now what you kind of want to do is you kind of want to call this function, don't you? Yeah, so let's just do this the simple way. So I can't type, apparently. I just don't know how to code. So instead, we're actually just going to go straight from the mesh pointer here, so that we can do two different functions in one instead. Okay, so this, instead this try indices is going to go straight from the mesh. You know, that sleepy mushroom really got me kind of, like, I kind of want pizza now. You know, the mellow mushroom pizza place. Anyway, so now we want to wait. No, we don't want to get the mesh from the ray hit. Wait. No, you want to get the mesh from the node. I want to get the mesh from the node. Yeah. Okay, so now that we have the mesh, now we call right hovered mesh. We need to change this in the header file. Okay. Okay, so this will now write the hovered node. The issue is that we have to not only write this, we have to write all of the children of this node as well. Within the same instance, the node no, this is node children indexed by I. And if node children I is greater than or equal to the globals, fuck, I should have made this a thing. I know, I should have made this a thing. Okay. Gosh, it's so quiet. Everybody was so loud for so long and now it's so quiet. Maybe everybody just chilled out. I need music. It's been completely silent for so long here. What am I gonna listen to? I have no clue. I keep on saying that I'll like find better like music to play on stream, but I just keep on playing like the same thing over and over again because I know I won't get copyrighted, which is, you know, works for me. Okay, so we are going to it's just going to be this with the child. So basically what we're doing is we are writing the children of our parent node. Actually, do we want to... Oh. We need to actually do this recursively for all the nodes. True. True that. Dude, that's so painful actually. Holy smokes. We aren't even at the point where we can select nodes either, which is interesting for sure. I kind of want to get my second coffee, to be honest. Yeah, this needs to happen recursively. I wonder if I can do the top level recursively as well, or if I just do it at this level. I'm trying to figure that out right now. No, yeah, avoid right hovered. Yeah, because you want the top one. You want the top one because that's our hit. That's our hit, is what that is. So we can just take in a node pointer. This is GLTF. Node pointer node. the rest is just the classic, right? Selection buffer. Okay. So we're gonna have our node by now. So we just do this. We just do this. Okay. We need an instance ID. To reference all of it. Now from here we don't do this. From here we do right hovered node and children. With child. Yeah. So I just like basically, yeah. Right hovered node and children with our parent node, selection buffer, geo, and the instance try instance ID. And that's our recursive function. This should be working. So writes the hovered mesh that we find first. And then it iterates through the children and then calls it on the children recursively. Yeah? Sounds good. Sounds good to me. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Let's put it in the header file and not be stupid. Also, we need our get mesh from Rayhead here as well, so that we can port over the other thing. If I can write it properly. Okay. Now we're here. We are going to get mesh from Rayhead. With the hit, mesh pointer mesh, hovered mesh, hovered mesh. If we have a hovered mesh, then we write it. We are going to. This is just right hovered node. Does it all from in there. Oh my gosh. Boom. Okay, so let's do a test on this. Let me just get rid of this. Let me close Blender. And then let's do a test build. For this, I'm gonna get my coffee while this is going. It's already gonna finish. Okay, so if I go, oh, I didn't make a button to change our selection mode. That's a tragedy. That's a tragedy. That's gonna be in here. Mesh selection. Wow, this is super loud. I didn't realize that this was super loud on the, Jesus. That was super loud. Nobody told me that that was loud. Sorry. That sound was meant to be played loud? You're meant to be played loud. That was a mosquito. That wasn't me hitting you. What are you talking about? I pressed node and now it's... Oh, yes, yes. So it is probably writing it. It's probably just not, displaying it because we had it only going render selected triangles is only going when we're mesh selection, but we want to also go player.selection state node selection. So what you're saying is I want to hear more of you? I don't know how you got that from what I said. I guess I should be more careful with my words. Oh my gosh. Dude, this mosquito. Said you're meant to be played loud. Oh, I did say that. Yeah, I mean, you're like my favorite of all time. So you're meant to be played loud. Why isn't this working? Oh my god, this mosquito, dude. I think I have an idea of what's happening. It's probably... I'm super confused, to be honest. I just lagged like really bad. Also, this mosquito is like all up in my beeswax. All up in my beeswax. Gosh, why am I lagging all of a sudden? It's weird. Very strange. Like, what is this? Oh, it's because I have this open still. Probably. Yeah, this lag is incredible. I'm kind of worried that my laptop isn't plugged in properly. Or something. Like it was doing that the other day, like it didn't plug in properly or something. Which wasn't very fun. If our I wonder if we're early returning by accident because I did all this balance checking. We did set our node ID. Yeah, we did. What I also realize now is that this this writing hovered mesh sets one hover override, which it should be, you know, but it shouldn't matter for the case of the main geometry. The main geometry should all be on one mesh, so it should be working. Early return out of bounds. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Globals.meshes.uid count. Don't I set the gmeshes count to this? Maybe it needs to be +1. Yeah, I think this is +1. Dude, this mosquito might be the end of me. Are we? Yeah, I don't really understand why it's not doing the entire thing. Writing mesh, writing mesh, writing mesh, writing mesh. I have to check the mesh ID. That's what I have to do. I should have already just done this print properly in the first place, but there shouldn't be any children on this node, though. If I just get rid of this... No. Writing mesh 9. Mesh 9 is correct. Why does that not work? Right hovered mesh. Hover to override gets set. Yeah. I think it's time to get my coffee. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Coffee. Sorry to kill the music, but it's gonna be silent. I have to go get my coffee. So I'll be back in like 5. I'm back. Doused in insect repellent. Time to turn off your music. Wow. Nice to see Arya sticking around for so long today. What the $1 job market tough right now? Just kidding. Alright, I don't know what this bug is. I don't really get it. I don't really get it. We can literally just like print out here. Pushing. Try. I don't know. Let's get the hovered override. Actually, let's print that out. My coffee smells weird. I don't know why. That's the correct number. And none of them are zeroed. I feel like I'm just doing something really dumb. Like usual. Oh man, what is the problem? What is the problem? Oh, that's what the problem. My dumbass. Sometimes my dumbass, I swear. Can't ever trust him. Okay, now this should work. Now we have to be able to select nodes. Also, we are only able to draw one mesh right now because really what we should do here is honestly Yeah, that's what we should do, but yeah. That's technically what you want to do, I mean, but I don't really want to do that. That's kind of annoying, that's kind of dumb. Uh, Selection buffer dot hovered override equals 0. We're just gonna set it to 0, and then accumulate into it. And let's give a quick compile just to make sure that that is correct. That hovered override is what allows us to specify how many vertices are in our hovered buffer for our editor logic every frame. Seems to be working fine. We selected the mesh. Now when we clear our selection, we should not be selecting anything when we have node selection, which is correct, because for node selection mode, we don't actually want to be selecting triangles. We want to select a node. Actually, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it should have like its own menu, right? So if you select a node, select parent, like we'll have a button that says select parent, then it just selects the parent node. And that's how you get to the top node. Alright, well that was good. That was fun. Do you have anything else to listen to? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. So when you're in node selection mode, we always want you to be clearing your selection every time you select a new node, right? That way you're never able to select two different nodes that aren't attached to one another, right? So if we have only node selected, I'm wondering why it automatically went to my shape selection menu. I'm very confused on that. So I have to check that out. point selection, entity placement mode. Okay, so I didn't, so this is else. This should have always been else if. Selection. Okay, and now we're gonna have another else if, for selection states. Node selection. Also, when we change to node selection, we want to clear player selection automatically. Hold on. This is not correct. This needs to return. Okay, so let's have a bool change equals change node equals this if change node doesn't equal I think so. I think this is how you do it. Why am I not allowed to do this? God, that would be awesome if you could just do that. Wouldn't that be awesome? What I'm trying to do is I need to change the I need to get rid of player selection every time. So this returns. Oh wait, I'm just being dumb. If yeah. So this returns true if we, yeah, if it's true, yeah. So then we want to player, selected try selection. We want to free player try selection. Boom. Okay. Excellent. So if our selection state is node selection, we want to make a menu here where we can select the parent. So we're going to make an NK label that says exactly that. NK button label. is what it is. NK button label context with the title select parent. Okay. If we select the parent, then then we want to select the parent, but we don't have the parent yet. We don't have a selection yet, right? So let's add this to the jump list and go to our update editor input. Update editor input, we need to go to where we click if player is try selection, this is going to be appended onto this here. Else if entity selection, where it's not entity selection, it's after this. Else if it's going to be completely different logic for nodes. Selection state is node selection. If we're in node selection, then all we're going to do is we're just going to change editor config dot selected node ID equals the hit dot try hit. I don't know why this is a pointer. I'm so confused why that's a pointer. Why is this passing a pointer and not the actual hit to this function? Ray hit pointer hit. Why did I do that? I don't know. That was cursed. Whatever. Don't care. We will deal with that later. Selected node ID equals the... Oh, wait. We need an instance ID on this. So instance ID. Okay. If we don't have that, then we can't do stuff like this. We have to also set that though in update editor input. We have to set that here when we click. Where am I going? I'm going to where I just was on the jump list down here. Okay, so now we can select the parent. Actually, the issue is that I want to see my selection, and we don't have a way to actually see my selection because we're not actually selecting triangles here. I could just make it so that every time I change my selection in the when I click, we just rebuild our buffer for that. What's up, dude? I just got one of your videos and you're live in my recommended. Hope for the YouTube page blesses me. Awesome work. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Mosquito Man. I streaming out here in the garden, I get a lot of mosquitoes and I usually hurl obscenities at them, so I hope that you aren't offended by that. They do bite me quite a bit. We want to clear triangle selection and then add mesh to selection for recursively once again if we do this. So we're gonna have to make another function that does that though. We're going to make a new function here. Add node and children to selection. Once again, this is a case where we are just going to take in the node pointer node. Oh my gosh, by the way, there is this mosquito that is up in my business. Your name is due to your sheer hatred towards them? I had to brace it? Yeah. Let me tell you, this guy is really on my nerves. It's the same one, and I'm like drenched in insect repellent. And he still just doesn't care. I don't understand. Yeah, this needs to be the same thing. This needs to take in a mesh pointer mesh instead of the hit now. And we'll just do this outside. Yeah, we'll just do this outside. So let me just go to this for here. We already have that validated. Wait, I need the mesh here. Okay. So that's working. I have to edit this though. This is just gonna go straight from the mesh. Apparently, I'm. Oh right. We just we were. Okay, so let me go back to that function, and now we need to recursively call add mesh to selection for the node's mesh. So if we're gonna do all of this stuff, if node mesh UID is greater than or equal to the globals dot meshes dot count, return. If node if globals dot if node instance dot buffer mesh UID you really want to do globals.gltf instances dot count. All of the error checking you could possibly need. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we want to add mesh to selection for our player with the mesh of globals.meshes.buffer indexed by the node mesh UID with our geometry. This is a pointer. And then we iterate through the children. Child count I++. If node children I is greater than or equal to globals dot no not gltf instances dot buffer indexed by the oh, that's quite large. Okay, well, whatever. I should have really made this a thing. What is that? Oh, that's good. That's good. This is so. Let me read this back just so that I know we're doing it. So, the GLTF instances indexed by this instance ID. We index the nodes by the node children. Yeah. This is fine. It just looks a bit cursed. So, globals dot gltf instances dot buff index by. We're just gonna use the instance ID in the beginning for this. Editor config dot selected instance ID, since we have that here. And we are going to use the go into the nodes by the selected node ID, and then this. And let's see if that all works. Did I do it? No. No, this is selected. Oh, and it isn't freeing my selection when I change. Why is that? That clears my selection and doesn't add anything. Huh. Okay. Nothing just works as per usual. I may have written something wrong here, so let me check. I'm guessing that we're early returning somewhere here. That's what I'm going to guess. Okay, never mind. We didn't early return there unless that it's this, which I genuinely doubt that it is. Interesting. Oh my gosh. Nothing can just work, can it? You know what I'm also wondering? I'm also wondering if we are just clearing it every frame. If that code that I wrote down there, down here, if this is doing it. So let's just give this a try. Maybe we're just freeing it instantly and my logic there was incorrect and I don't know how nuclear works. It looks like I didn't... No, it's not selected. Okay, I'm gonna put the light on out here just really quickly. So that I can see the bugs, so that maybe I can kill them if they come up to me. Kind of reminds me of this friend that I had once. That she had this weird thing about like animals. Like she would get mad if you played a video game where like an animal got killed, you know. Like she had this thing where she like was so emotionally dejected when any animal violence happened, you know. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I never really got it. You know, she would get like mad if you like played video games where like you shot like a dog or something, you know. I just never, I just don't understand that. Anyway, this isn't working. Oh, you know why? It probably is because we didn't have this rebuild and right selected triangles thing. That's why. That's probably entirely why. It's because we forgot a function that was important for us to have there. Okay, that makes sense. Now if I could just find my way back to this code so that I can re-enable it, thank you. Okay, let's give this a compile. Is this one any good? No, I don't really like it. I don't really like it. Okay, excelente, excelente. Node selected. Fantastic. There we go. Oh, okay. So we should test the think. We should test the select parent button. Oh, hold on. We don't have the select. This doesn't actually do anything. We just change our selected node ID, but we don't actually. We have to clear triangle selection and then rebuild the thing. To rebuild the thing. Where is the code? Where is the code? There's the code. It should always have the same instance ID for that. So, there we go. This is just under a different name, probably. Okay, let me give this a try. Man, sucks that my stream crashed again. That was a real bummer. I don't know why that bug is happening. I don't know. Okay, so this still works. Obviously, if I press select parent, we aren't going to crash because I have that fixed already. So let's just go to F9. Let's load in our, this is fine. Okay. Da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da. Takes a while. Then we go here. Then we go to node selection. Why is this not working? Why can I not change it? Hello? Nuclear sometimes does this, where, like, it will, like, lock up your keyboard because you pressed a different menu, and now all of a sudden it doesn't want to work. It's very annoying. Okay, let me go here to the gun. We go here, and then go to select parent. And we segfault. Assertion failed. Selection offset plus selection buffer point count less than selection buffer capacity, and rebuild and right selected triangles. Oh, an assertion failed. No, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Oh. Selection offset plus selection buffer point count is less than selection buffer capacity. And the buffer capacity Uh, player try selection count. Yeah, I mean, we're changing the try selection count, right? Like this fully changes it when we go to add mesh to selection, try selection count. Oh. No, we just reallocate it. Let me try this. This is probably wrong. That was probably incorrect, to be honest. Let me try that. Oh, assertion failed. God, I hate it when my assertions fail. It's the worst in the world. The worst feeling in the world. Okay, go here, go to node. What am I doing? We have to load in first. Okay, go to node, this, select parent. No. First off, we are getting an early return somewhere. One of these. Don't know which one it is. Player try selection count times 8 plus the selection offset. But the thing is, first of all, our selection offset plus count. it doesn't make sense how this goes over the buffer capacity if all we're doing is iterating through. Oh. Because we don't reset the count anymore. We stopped resetting the count? But why? Yeah. The problem with the editor selection buffer is that I need to know if this happens. This happens after our right hover? Yeah. This happens after our right hovered. So if the issue with this is that we're mallocating instead of reallocating. And so I don't see how this is going to work and how this was even working for the meshes. How is this even working for the meshes? If we just rebuilt it and we didn't actually reallocate. Right hovered mesh. This creates a new buffer, right? No, this reallocates it. If selection buffer this is shit. This is so annoying. We should compute the full size now. Just do that. And then every time we go through and we start rendering, let's just set full size to what it gets, what we put here. Oh, fuck. Dude, that's so annoying when you press U instead of I in Helix is like so fucking annoying. And then we should use buffer full size. Buffer full size. Okay. Now we also need to change it to a reallocation at the place where we had our assertion fail, which is under rebuild and right selected triangles. This should not be, should be a reallocation. If our selection buffer full size plus player try selection count times 8 plus yeah, I don't know why this wasn't already a reallocation. Do I actually need hover offset now? I don't know. Who cares? Yep, music going on. Music is going on. Yep. We've gone long enough. Yep. Exactly what I was thinking. Yep. Oh, the thing is, this we free it. Why do we free it? Why do we free it? I'm realizing that even if we reallocate this and stuff, yeah, then this is still shouldn't, yeah, this is still our point count should still be underneath the buffer capacity. Unless our pointers for our triangles are fucked up, which... Yeah, I don't know. Hey, what's up, ATS me Moreo? How are you doing today? Huh. I wonder if... So we do it, we crash on the parent when we select parent. Crash when we select parent. Only when we select parent. Why is that? Oh gosh, why can I not find this? What game am I making? I'm making a retro FPS game, I guess. This is not what I meant to play. This is not the one that I meant to play. It looks like... It'll open in a sec. It looks like this. It has its own engine that I programmed myself. It's a movement-based shooter, I guess. It has its own map editor, and really like a ton of different things about it. It's a pretty large project, you know. It's got a lot of different menus and such. It's sick. I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, it's a thing. If the parent doesn't equal -1, our selected that parent, and then we clear the selection. Ah, I see. So if this is probably what's happening. We have no validation for this. In fact, this should go inside of here. Am I alone? This is a big project to do by myself? Yeah, I am alone. I I don't mind working alone. You know, it's good to have full control over the whole thing. Yeah, this should go inside. Oh my gosh, the lag. Why am I lagging all of a sudden? It's very annoying. Uh, gosh. Select parent. This should actually be inside of this function just for... Gosh, why is it so laggy right now? Skeleton buffers? Selection buffers, but also related to skeletons because they're made of nodes and skins in the GLTF convention, which is how we do our animations. Which is what all this select parent nonsense is trying to do. So basically, gosh, the lag. Encoding overloaded. Yeah, no way. Okay, so let me give this a try again. Right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it so that you can select nodes. If you select nodes, then we're able to make entities, and I want to make entities from nodes. Nodes are basically, you could think of them like the joints of a skeleton, animation wise. So let me load in this model here. Well, I did go with making my own engine. Oh wow, there's a spider. Very tiny spider. It's just hanging out here. It is dark outside. Maybe you meant the opposite. Why did I go with making my own engine? I went with making my own engine because I don't enjoy using commercial engines, to be honest. Okay, so if I go here, why can't I not select it? Maybe it's just the visual buffer? Still, this assertion fails. Did I make any game before this? No. I've made a lot of coding projects though in the past. So I thought I could do it. Oh. That's what I meant. I meant to do this. It's still not going to explain why we get an early return here. So we have to log that. Now the spider is gone. I wonder where he went. That's kind of horrifying. I will probably have to go inside soon. There are bugs that come out at night here. Flying roaches. What is my game name? I haven't really thought of it yet. I haven't really thought about it. So that's gonna be here, that it's early returning. I need to dump a few things here then. I'm guessing that it's actually this. You know that if you just show up your entire game code, someone could just steal it? I mean, yeah. They would have to write all of this by hand, though. Or, I mean, maybe they could just take a photo of it and then do, I guess, you know. Fair on them, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really, you know, making it to make money per se. I'm just making it to because it's what I want to do with my life. So if they want to steal from that, then so be it, I guess. I'm guessing that we don't get, that we clear our selection and then we don't get like practice. I don't necessarily think it's like practice. I'm doing something, but I mean, it's not really about the end goal. It's more about the process of making it, you know? It's kind of like this whole thing about like, you know, philosophically talking about understanding, or knowledge. You can't transfer knowledge and understanding. It's just not possible. You only get the understanding through the process of knowing, you know? So, see, our select parent happened. We instance ID 21,000. Okay, that's definitely out of bounds. That's definitely out of bounds. I wonder where we go out of bounds, though. If it's here, or if the instance ID is actually that large, or what? Because that instance ID gets set all the way back here. Instance UID count. Global set mesh. Mesh UID count. Maybe our mesh UID is going out of bounds and we only notice it there. Now I kind of want to see what this is. I know that this is annoying. It's a lot of just compiling and seeing what it says, but I don't really know how to fix it otherwise. I feel like I didn't do anything today. I didn't really get a lot done. What language am I using? I'm using C. This is all in C. It's a very simple language. I like to say that because it's such a simple language, it makes it a really good language to make complicated things. Gosh, I hate it when it does this though. Nuclear. C, not C++, C. It's all about that C. Let me try selecting a different part than selecting parent. No. Mesh ID 0. Mesh ID 0. Mesh ID should always be greater than 0. That's why. Mesh ID should never be 0. The node mesh UID is 0. Why is that? Yeah, I'm not sure. I may not be able to figure out this issue today. I want to figure it out, or at least on stream today. I'm obviously going to work again more and more when I have dinner, after I have dinner, but so this is going the selected instance ID to the node selected node ID. We need both of these. I just want to see them to verify that they're correct. Gosh, lag. Oh, is this actually doing this right now? It's not gonna close out. Yeah. Yeah, today has been really laggy. This is actually backwards to what we wrote here. Alright, peace out, Aria. I'll be gone soon as well. Have a nice night. Node 15 instance 1. Node 15 instance 1. Is this another case of my UID getting reset because of something? Mesh UID account gets set here to 0. I don't understand, because this, for instance, this one is definitely in bounds. It should not be mesh ID 0. Hold on. Hold on, we have to go down here. Interesting. Could it just literally be that I have to explicitly Is that literally the thing? Maybe I have to explicitly copy that, but I thought that I could just... What other fields are in this that I didn't? The global, local? Huh, maybe I just got away with it. I thought that... Maybe not. Maybe this isn't it, but it kind of would make sense. I am going to probably head out here in a second though. Let's see if I can get this working though. Select parents. No, it's still mesh ID 0. Let me look in the GLTF for Rhino 13. Nodes. Yeah, there's a lot of empty here. But this should be the parent right here. So I think that's about 1, 2, now that's probably the correct, we're probably getting the correct parent there. It's 15, which is 15. But for some reason we get a mesh ID of 0. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure. This mesh UID is wrong, apparently. Unless I'm not using the mesh UID and I'm using the mesh. Actually, that would suck. No, we're definitely using the mesh UID. Definitely are. Alright, well, I'm probably gonna figure out this bug later tonight and then be really mad at myself for this. But yeah, this apparently it's getting a mesh UID of 0 and I'm watching a spider crawl up its web. It made a web from my monitor up to the ceiling, which was very neat of the spider to do. Thanks for doing that. Thanks, spider. Yeah. I don't know. Does it have a mesh of 0? You know what I didn't think of? Oh, you know what? There might just not be a... Oh... Okay. I think I understand now. I think I understand now. Okay. I get it. So what's going on here, if I can explain it correctly, is that the parent node doesn't actually have a mesh attached to it, which is completely allowed. Okay, that's completely allowed. It was just confusing me. So if our mesh ID is greater than or equal to this, or our node mesh UID is 0, which means no mesh. We want the opposite of this. We don't want to return on this anymore. So if less than this and we don't equal 0, then we want to add mesh to selection, and we can move this up here. This is going to be that. Now I have to go to... Why is this giving me... Oh. Instance ID, and now when we just call this, we have an instance ID. It's called the editor config dot selected instance ID, and then our other one also has Now I'm just gonna give this a quick compile just to see it, and then I'll see you guys later. Thanks everyone for watching. We do have a Discord that you can join if you're into any of this programming stuff. If you're into any of that nonsense, or if you just like cool stuff. Okay, so let's go to this, load it in, and then I am going to get out of here. Okay, go to node, and then select parent. Really? Well, I guess that we aren't going to see it actually working. It is selecting the correct node. Oh, we are using this. It's supposed to be instance ID. So we're getting garbage values. Okay, I promise we are going to be done here soon. I just want to check this out. If our node children is greater than the node count for the instance ID. Yeah, this should work. Keyword should, but okay, F1, F9, load. B, go to node selection, and then select it. Select parent, and we get this. Okay, there we go. Select parent, selects the whole thing. Now, why this is really cool is now we can make entities. I don't know why the handle isn't parented. Probably have to check that out, huh? Why this doesn't select parent doesn't work. Select parent works there. Yeah, I might have to check that out. Interesting why the handle doesn't work. Okay. I am gonna see you guys later. Thanks again. And next time, hopefully, we will actually press the make entity button. So, actually, let me check this. So this is giving me parent node of 6. Select parent, select parent, select parent 2 times works. Okay. Alright, see you guys later. Peace out.